I'm not trying to act, but you're not.
Stop it! I have never in my life yelled at a girl like this. When my mother yells at this, it's because she loves me. I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you? Learn something from this. When you go to bed at night, you lay there and you take responsibility for yourself, because nobody's going to take responsibility for you. You roll in your eyes and you act like this because you've heard it all before. You've heard it all before. You don't know where the hell I come from. You have no idea what I've been through. But I'm not a victim. I grow from it and I learn. Take responsibility for yourself.
Meow develops a razor-sharp edge on the 5th generation of K-pop simply by being able to sing throughout a song. Nadine specifically sings like she's been through 3 divorces at this point, and like she's got another appearance in Couples Court tomorrow. YG Entertainment and the Black Label, which I know are separate entities, I have to mention every time because people whacked me for it. The way I feel about this is that picture of the baby with the different wigs on trying to get free trials with different emails. The Black Label is the same baby that YG Entertainment is, just with a different wig on. But anyways, YG Entertainment and the Black Label seem to be cultivating the most beloved features of the earlier generations of K-pop with both Meow and Baby Monster, prioritizing performance over often anything and everything else, which is causing a little bit of friction for me. YG Entertainment and the Black Label for some reason are really struggling to capture the production essence that catapulted groups like 2NE1 and Blackpink to global success. A very clear goal of the YG collective is centralized around an idol's ability to perform, whether that be the facial expressions, vocal tones, dance ability, or a combination of those 3. This is something that I think the K-pop industry at large is falling short on. For as much as I have emphasized that I don't personally show up to K-pop for good performance ability, I cannot deny that an idol and group's ability to sell intuitive pop music via its performance is invaluable. It is something that the YG collective so obviously prioritizes to the utmost extent, given the sheer talent of Meow and Baby Monster right at debut. It is a rare commodity in today's marketplace that will no doubt garner Meow more and more renown over time. The YG collective is quickly becoming known for what their new idols can bring performance-wise to the 5th generation of K-pop. Without the members' pure talent and performance abilities, a lot of Meow's songs would fall short, which is turning out to be more of a curse than it is a blessing. Meow's rise to fame in the K-pop industry has been relatively slow and steady due to the fact that the Black Label is struggling to keep up with producing music that is becoming of such a talented group of performers. There has been nothing that packs quite a punch like I Am the Best, Fire, Bang Bang Bang, Whistle, Loser, Love Scenario, Da-Da-Da-Da, and so on. Superficially, the problem to me seems to be that production has skewed in favor of being so intuitive that it becomes negligible and sometimes outright boring for a lot of people. Drop Top is a good song. Its only crime being that it's very predictable. The pop-punk production and its lyricism, specifically the hook sections that to my knowledge are not the sections written by Gawon, are a bit underwhelming for the purposes of being a lead single. For what is usual when it comes to the YG collective, we're presented with lush and expansive potential in the verses and pre-choruses. This is where the members singing is really allowed to shine, only for us to transition into a chorus that is intuitive of the pop-punk genre to a very underwhelming extent. I like Drop Top. I do think it is their weakest release to date. I really feel like we needed something stronger to work with as the title track to their first album. I know it's only 3 new songs, but still, we're less than 4 months away from Meow's 1-year anniversary. I doubt we'll be getting another project from this group before then, and I still feel like the Black Label hasn't really established a solid enough foundation for this group. Not enough bold choices are being made, I suspect in response to the uncertain reception that their debut song got. So where do we go from here? It is certainly not the end of the world that I personally don't think Drop Top is incredibly strong. Maybe there's a possibility that it ends up performing well, but the next steps, in my opinion, will need to synthesize what all worked from this album and expand those musical territories to help develop this group. Regardless of what I think about Drop Top specifically, this debut album is very clearly setting the foundation for this group to take on the world. We go musically from pop ballads, trap EDM and hip-hop, Brazilian funk, pop-punk to R&B, and so on. The My Eyes Open Wide album, as a culmination of their debut year, plants a lot of seeds in key places that will allow them to grow in many different directions in the future. Hands Up is already on its way to being the group's best performing song, which, as far as A&R and analytics go, a better song could not have been chosen to succeed. I really hope it sends word to the Black Label that experimental, fully realized songs with momentum and dynamic can take this group very far. I think Hands Up and Drip by Baby Monster are getting very close to adapting the YG formula for the current generation, but we need to push a little bit harder. There has to be some kind of breaking point we get to where the labels realize that pushing for the absolute most intuitive production is almost always working against their groups these days. You have a group of maybe the most charismatic performers in the industry right now, and then give them very little time to actually use that charisma in ways that are meaningful. And so here is my unprofessional vibe-based wisdom for the Black Label. As contradictory as it may sound, intuitive pop music does not always benefit from intuitiveness being the sole focus. What made the YG collective music of the past so enticing is the strong focus on detailed, electronic and hip-hop centered production that often overshadowed the vocals and melodies themselves when it comes to hooks. The instrumental is the star of the show when it comes to global appeal, as it is the feature of the song that can most easily cross language and cultural barriers. Where songs like Drop Top get implicated by all of this is the intuitiveness of the song's chorus instrumentally and arguably lyrically, causing the overall song to feel hollow despite its genuinely impressive vocal displays in the surrounding sections. My speculation about why this could be happening is that I think the Black Label wants to use the soft side of Meow's concept, songs like Drop Top and Toxic, to break away from the K-pop mold and just appeal directly to global audiences with songs that tap right from the genre's source. I don't think this is a bad thing by any means. I do think the Black Label should just shift towards sourcing producers who are skilled in fields such as pop punk or pop ballads to help the label produce music that feels more inspired and dynamic, not in a K-pop sense, but in just a general music sense. The end result, as I see it right now, as the Black Label focuses on in-house producers, is underwhelming. If I had to guess, I think this is exactly why the songs are feeling underwhelming. We're still applying YG and Teddy style production features to songs that really do not benefit from such instrumental focused frameworks. Pop punk as a genre of course benefits from lyrics and vocal melodies, both for global audiences and K-pop fans alike. It feels uninspired, too reminiscent of other songs in the genre that you could be listening to instead. Overall, I'm not incredibly enthusiastic about Drop Top at the album's release. Maybe it will grow on me over time, but I am incredibly happy with how many genres Meow has explored in the first year of their debut. We've been presented with an expansive catalog of music styles to build an identity upon in future releases, hopefully with a focus on tuning more dynamic production that works to accentuate the members' charisma. Yeah, I think that is the vibe here for me personally. Thank you for watching this. If you did, let me know what you think about Drop Top. Do you agree or disagree or see the song in a different way, and so on. Yeah, thanks again for watching. Subscribe if you want to, and I will see you next time.